how did you adapt to like that change? Like, how did you like just become what you are from being from such a different place?
Well, first of all, I was coming to New York since '82.
Yeah.
Because I was dating a New Yorker in college. You understand?
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, she helped me adapt to Harlem real well. Shout out to Evita. So now, me going back and forth, coming all, you know, because I really, my family life was not like that, brother. Right. I met my mother at 12. You understand what I'm saying? So when I went to school, school was my life. You understand? So I used to come to New York. Whenever she came to New York, I used to come to New York with her. So we used to go down to, people know, the $2 movies on 42nd Street. You know, she showed me the ropes, how to get on the train. So in '86, when I graduated from college, I wasn't going back to now. I was going overseas actually to play basketball.
We tried that once.
Oh, okay.
And I felt bad about it because the woman that we tried that with was really in love with me, and she didn't want to sleep with him, but she did it because of me. And there was a day, there was an experience that happened, and I saw how uncomfortable she was, and she just kept looking at me. She's sitting there fucking him, but she's sitting there staring at me saying, I love you, and I'm like, yeah, this is too much.
I got something to ask her, Jag.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, I want to see if she answers something.
Yeah.
But as she's coming down these stairs, are you like you said, somebody hopped in your DM, whatever we use that. What is your social medias?
It's Big Gene _52, and you could also put PayPal $50. I'll send you a signed copy of both of the books, or one of the books is $50 each. Big Gene 52, and I'll send you a signed copy.
Oh yeah, we gonna send that first video.
The doctor was telling you, yo, if you keep playing ball, you ain't gonna be able to walk when you get 50. You're gonna walk with a cane. So I gave up ball and got me a job. You understand? So It was easy to adapt because I met D-Ferg, I met Slick. Slick was one of the bosses, you know, in Harlem. So I met them. He took me as his godbrother because I could play basketball. You understand? And I played on his team and got to know a lot of people.
Man, you know, you always hear about the different Harlem cats, like street cats, and just like how flamboyant or flashy or how cocky they were. You didn't, before you met the D-Fergs and the Slicks, did you ever have any issue like fitting in or finding your place?
Bruh, I started on the basketball court. And at the time I was a hell of a ball player. And when you a hell of a ball player, people adapt to you.
If he was not there, I can only imagine how much worse things would have been and could have gotten.
Right.
This is the man.
And like I told these guys now, people who commit crimes with criminals.
Yeah, they do.
I ain't never been no criminal.
No.
And I'm never gonna let anybody get harmed. I'm always intersected. I'm 10 steps in front of you before it happens.
That's the other thing.
No, sing my song.
I'm gonna sing it, but I wanna say this, and then I'm gonna sing it. In positions that we've been in and the people that we've been around, you had it made. So did I. There was a disagreement in the way things were going. You went your own way.
Right.
I went my own way. If it was really, if we were terrible people, you don't walk away. You stay. It was made. You were the man of all, period. Imagine, you know, as he went on into his billionaire status, all the things.
I could have just kept my mouth closed.
Period.
I didn't have to tell Miss Wallace nothing.
Nothing.
I didn't have to say nothing to nobody. That's what people don't understand. I chose to. You understand? They want to make up the stories they want to make up. And that's what you get this internet. You got a lot of people making up stuff. But then when the stuff come true, they look stupid. They don't say nothing. They quiet as a church mouse. All the things that Jagden said, You understand? And the only thing I disagree with Jag about
Chris.
this was Chris. That's the only thing I
But
disagree
wait a
with
minute,
it.
can we speak on that right quick?
Because I knew
there.
Lou Tucker. And if you put Lou Tucker and you go in the photos and you put Christopher Williams side by side each other, they look like
brothers.
they could have been brothers.
They could have been brothers.
I'm not saying Lou Tucker did anything. I'm gonna say that much. But I know Christopher Williams, and I know Christopher Williams is
Something else. But
Christopher Williams a gangster.
But this is the thing, though. When that lawyer came to me, and what everybody has been trying to do is get me to give her name.
Right. And I wouldn't worry about it.
And I know why they want me to give her name, because they want to run down on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I could even justify it by saying the person who brought her to me that you and I both know.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that on another occasion.
Right.
Because at this point in time, I think I owe you that.
I don't even really.
I know you don't
I
care.
don't care about that, Jack. I want you to sing my song.
My point is this. I believe my witness, and he knows what he knows.
Right.
But regardless of all of that, there's always spaces in between every story.
Right.
Now, maybe she saw somebody else that looked like Christopher Williams.
Right.
I can only tell you what that woman said to me.
And she could think that. She could really think that because they look so much alike. Back then, with the curly hair, light skin, the whole 9 yards, it wouldn't be far-fetched. But
if your ignorant ass call me a crackhead again, I don't give no fuck. I'm just gonna make flyers.
dude ran. That's the kind of crazy shit we see. You see girls having sex in the bathroom. That's crazy shit.
Yeah.
So
it gets like that.
right.
I have to ask real quick. Diddy's pops. I saw you. There was you had mentioned that as far as Diddy's pops, his dad was murdered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that I didn't know. Did you know of his pops?
I didn't know of his pop. I ain't know jack shit about his pops. I learned from his pops from one of the biggest gangsters in Harlem, New York Freddie, right? The police said they went to New York Freddie house in Mount Vernon and he had stacks of $100 bills 6 feet high in the whole basement. That's how much money he had. He was the one who started Russell Simmons. They won't tell y'all this story. He was the one who started Russell Simmons and them into the music business because he had a record label first that Russell Simmons used to work for. So now New York Freddie want to talk to Big Gene. One of his lieutenants back in the day, if you see his story, his name was Omar. Omar was our OG from 112th Street, 114th Street. They used to come around with us. They used to love the food I used to cook because I'm a hell of a cook. You know what I'm saying? So now Omar said, yo, New York Freddie want to talk to you, Gene. I told him he used to bodyguard Puff because he want to talk to Puff and tell Puff the real story about his father. So I said, yeah, all right. So I'm like, New York Freddie. I knew my history. I knew what New York Freddie was about. So I went and took a meeting with New York Freddie. He said, New York Freddie said to me, he said, yo, man, I've been trying to get in touch with Puff. Russell Simmons, none of them would take my calls. It's all good. He said, I want to tell Puff the true story about his father. And I said, yo, all right, okay, you know what's up. You're gonna listen to those guys. You understand? So New York Freddie said, Puff father sold some drugs to one of their undercover guys. You understand? They arrested him because they had cops on the payroll to, you know, see what you about. He said they brought him the tape and the written confession that Puff father signed. So I was like, yo, he said, we gave him $10,000. It was a New York City cop. He worked for them. He said, we gave him $10,000. Puff father said that he only told because he had a wedding to go to, which I thought was hilarious. You understand? This is coming from New York Freddie. So he said that I wanted to talk to Puff, but he wouldn't take my calls, he wouldn't see me. He said, I wanted to let him know that I told the guy, y'all got to get rid of him. Y'all brought him in, y'all got to get rid of him. So all these people talking about he worked for Frank Lucas, he worked for that part like that. He may have gotten some things from them or whatever, did some work. Nah, he worked with New York Freddie team. And New York Freddie told the dude to get rid of him. Now, if Puff father was all that big of a gangster and he was all that and everything like that, why is he driving a cab? None of the gangsters in Harlem drove cabs. They drove Cadillacs, Rolls Royce, Mercedes, etc. You understand what I'm saying? So now, Puff father get murked by the dude that brought him in. And New York Freddie said to me, he said, I want to let him know the dude that was crying at the hardest at the funeral, carrying the casket, was the one who killed him.
Yeah.
So now, this is crazy to me, right? About a month ago, I told that story, right? A young lady, a woman, who was dating Puff father, hit me on, which y'all DM me on the
DM.
the Instagram. She said, Big Gene, she said, thank you for telling my story, that story. He said, I was dating for Puff father. And I went up to Flash Inn. It was a thing on 155th and McCombs Avenue in Harlem. I was waiting for him the next day because he had told me the day before he was killed that to meet him up there. He said, New York Freddie and all they crew was up there laughing and joking, and they knew about Puff father that got killed. So now I knew why they was doing that. Yes, sir.
Real nice story. What made you leave Diddy's side?
Who said I left his side? You said what made him, you said what made me leave his side?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the whole working for him.
Puff, ASAP Ferg father went to Puff, and there's two reasons. He asked Puff to do a favor for him. He was in a certain situation. And I took him up there. I had $10,000 of Puff money in my pocket because we had left North Carolina. He was going somewhere and he didn't want to take the money with him. And this was about 2 weeks later. It was a week before my birthday, like 4 or 5 days before my birthday. D said, yo, I want to go up to the office and talk to Puff. I said, all right, come on, I'll take you up there. So then he went and talked to Puff. He had some designs. He was one of the best designers in Harlem. He had a clothing company on 145th Street. And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's ASAP Ferg father.
Yeah,
so now,
I know they was real heavy into the
yeah, he the one designed the Bad Boy logo. Yeah, and he designed the old Uptown Record logo too. You know what I'm saying? So this guy was incredible. The people used to come and steal his designs and mass produce it. He was the one who put all the things. You remember you ever see
the patches?
The patches and stuff on the jacket, on the arms and stuff. He designed that. He was the one who started the painting of the sneakers.
They did a documentary about it, right?
Nah, somebody stole his shit and did all like that. He was the one, when I graduated on the basketball court. He took me over to play against Alpo's team. He beat Alpo for $10,000 that time. I asked him, I was like, yo, the dude, he said, yo, what you want? What you need, big man? You know what I said? I said, I need an orange juice and some chips. I'm good. He bought me an orange juice and chips. Everybody else was getting 500, 1,000. I didn't know the game.
Right.
You understand? And then he just brought me in as his god brother. And we have been together ever since.
Jen, can I get your takes on Alpo?
I don't think that he thought it could happen. Because I told him before we left, if we go to this party, somebody gonna die tonight, bro. I got a phone call. I got a phone call by 3 credible sources. You understand? Right. Chaz Williams over Black Hands, part of the Guerrilla Black Mafia. Unique from Mecca Audio. And the dude that was running with Jodeci now. Now, if people tell you they're not going to a party, and it's supposed to be the lit party of the century, you see Mace didn't show up at the party because he knew something too. And where I could say Mace knew something because the people out in California, when Mace went to basketball game, they told him, we want Puff and we want Big. See, everybody do all these investigations and everything like that, and they don't listen to the people who were there. Like I said before, there were people who wanted Big dead, and there were people who wanted Puff dead. You get it?
Right.
The people that wanted Puff dead, you understand, I thought was a dude from the Nation of Islam that we got into it at Soul Train, right? The people that thought they had something to do with Big Jake dying, which they didn't. That was a part of Death Row or the Bloods. Then you got the guys that Big, what was called the Dog Pound, the guys with the Dog Pound when Big was out there. He was in New York, and the Dog Pound was in New York doing a video.
Yeah.
Big made a phone call to the radio station. I don't know why they aired that shit today and said, yo, New York, y'all let the Dog Pound be in Red Hook and do a video. So now they want Big head. Yeah. That video shoot got shot up, bruh. Them bullets ain't have no names on it.
That's a Snoop Dogg video with Dog Pound in New York.
Right. So you understand what I'm saying? All those people and the people who love Pac, when Pac came up there, they thought Big and them may have had something to do with that or whatever. So that's 5 different fractions of people that may wanted somebody dead in Bad Boy. So now you get to this. Puff know what Mace told him. Mace ain't tell Big he had that conversation with Big. But I had a conversation with Big and them about coming around anywhere we go. Don't come to no parties, don't come nowhere. Cause it's like that.
And just cause I don't know the full story, but Mace said he was with Brandy, the singer? Or is this Brandy somebody else?
Mace said he was with Brandy, the singer. I was in a hotel room with Mace, with Brandy.
With Brandy, yeah.
Okay. So if you was hotel room with Brandy, why did you make the statement, Brandy called me trying to get me to go to the party? So was she next door to you? She was next to you, y'all both on y'all cell phones and shit? And she said, yo, Mace, we ought to go to the party. He said, Brandy, I'm not going to the party. If you with her, you got to watch what people say. I'm not saying he wasn't with Brandy at some time, but was he with Brandy after Big got killed or before Big got killed? And this is the biggest party in the industry, the Vibe party, sets the Soul Train after party.
Someone says Diddy set up Biggie to get killed. What do you say to that?
I actually thought that he put Big in a situation and thought that the individuals who was gonna come to do something to Big would have did something or try to do something to Big. I don't believe, I'm trying not to believe that he had anything to do with Big's death. I think that the people who was trying to kill Puff killed Big.
So after that, some time passes, Puff still lives. Are you shocked that like he still was able to continue to thrive and grow after so much animosity was being presented towards him?
Well, Puff was built for that. You understand? Puff's mother trained him to be a superstar or in the industry, whether it been a model or a dancer or singer or whatever like that, whatever his talent would have been. So for him to come back from there, I think that he had no other reason. He had to. He had the blueprint. Big had gave him the plan.
Gene, let me ask you, are you surprised that, we're about to have a trial with Tupac's murder, but Biggie's murder is still unsolved, may go unsolved? Are you surprised with that?
No, I'm not surprised because the LAPD has suppressed all the evidence and they know who killed Big already, brother. I have not told a lie. When I tell the people that they had the picture of the Muslim, me and Puff in the same picture, you understand? Walking up to Puff van, but they had his face distorted. They know they got those pictures. The FBI agent, Phil Carson, said he saw the same picture. Then when he went back to review it, the picture was gone. See, they didn't know who they was dealing with. They didn't know that I had a memory like a fucking elephant and I was not gonna forget anything that happened. I wrote that in my second book. Exactly what went down during that interview. You got people around here telling lies. This is the guy he picked. No, I don't. Run the tape. The tape will tell you, they asked me, do any of these guys on this photo look like him? And I said, nah. He said, anybody look close like the guy or something like that on this photo? I said, he looks something like him, but it's not him. That's what I said. Anytime you do a lineup and you point somebody out, what do the cops make you do? They make you initial it or sign under the picture. Correct. That you said that. They seen a circle say, this is the one he picked. No, I didn't. Not one of the detectives who was on that thing said I picked anybody in the lineup. I just said he looks something like him, but it's not him.
Damn. It's crazy because, documentaries come out. I know police have spoken, and it's one of those things to where we might get some, I don't want to say closure, but with KPD coming up, that might open up like to Tupac. I'm just curious. We're about to fast forward to what Diddy got going on. Gene, you started talking about, let's say a few years ago, about just your life in the industry. Are you concerned about the feds wanting to come sit down and talk to you about, hey, we need you as a character witness about some situation that may have happened back, during your heyday?
Some situation back during my heyday.
They want to talk to you about things you have seen.
You have to be more Pacific than you are, sir.
Let's get to it. The feds want to ask you certain questions about what you may have seen, and they want you as a character witness to speak on and testify against Diddy.
To testify against Diddy? Correct. About what?
About anything you may have seen. No, not even testify yet. They want to bring you in for questioning about what you may have seen. Is that a thing?
What I can say to you, sir, is that being an officer myself, they don't bring you in to question you about what you may have seen. They question you about what they already know you have seen.
That's the feds.
And what you say. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way I would know that. You understand? But what I can tell you is that, can Puff be erratic? Yes, he can. You've seen that. Can he be, does he have a monstrous behavior sometime? Yes, he have. You've seen that. You understand? Can he be threatening and abusive? Yes, he can. You've seen that. So, bro, I went on MTV in 99, VH1 in 2001, 2011. Everything that y'all just now hearing, I've been told it to them. I've been said it. They got tapes and they could go back and say, well, he didn't say that, he didn't. They got 5 hours. Y'all getting an hour. They got 5 hours, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both of those places, VH1 and MTV. I was in the Silhouette because I was working still.